Alright, so first I have to read the following script so I can ensure that I have informed consent.
All right.
This is Yellow Springs High School student Kian Barker for the Witnessed History Project, interviewing Elizabeth Tinker about her life experience with the San Francisco earthquakes. Thank you for participating in this project that will be used to create a short video presentation for my world history class. Can you please state your full name and today's date?
Oh, Elizabeth Tinker. I don't even know what today's date is. What is it?
February.
February. I got that one.
19th.
19th. 2022.
Okay. So first I'm going to do
Nothing.
yeah, an early life or introduction kind of thing.
You're going to do an introduction?
Well, I'm going to ask you
Oh, you're going to ask me.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. Tell me about your family and where you grew up.
Oh, you want to know my own family? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I was the youngest child and the only girl of 3 children. I grew up in a small town on the Georgia-Alabama line. What else do you need to know?
Anything. So why did you move to San Francisco? How was life there?
Okay. I moved to San Francisco because I was married to somebody who was in the Navy. And we lived all over the world and moved from Japan to San Francisco.
Were there any signs that anything would happen on the day of the earthquake? Or how was that day, the day of the earthquake? Yeah.
The day of the earthquake was absolutely normal. My younger daughter and I went to pick up her sister after school. We came back. They both needed to go to the library. We stopped at the library, and then we came home. No indication of anything happening. We had only lived in San Francisco a few weeks. We had not lived there very long, so.
So tell me the story of when it happened.
Okay. All right. My husband worked at a joint military area in Oakland, California. He came across the bridge from Oakland to San Francisco every night. That particular day, it was the day of the Super Bowl, so they were let off early to come home. We were home. We had come home from the library. He walked in the door of the kitchen, and the house started shaking. And my younger daughter said, Mom, the washing machine is shaking. And I said, no, it's an earthquake. Get under the door thing, whatever. Okay, you need more than that?
Yeah.
Or is that too much? You tell me.
That's good. No. I need as much as you can give me, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Were you or your family, were you guys scared?
Yeah, we were scared when we found out what was really happening.
How'd you find out?
Well, we heard alarms, rescue vehicles and things, and we went outside, and everybody was going outside, to see what was going on. And we walked over to the park that was near our house and looked down into the area that we shopped at a lot, and it was totally on fire. And, they said, it's an earthquake. And it was definitely an earthquake. And then we found out that the bridge had collapsed, that my husband had just come over.
Wow.
So, yeah, so there was a lot to be thankful for. But it was also a very scary time because once you have an earthquake, there are lots of other little earthquakes that follow.
Yeah.
And there were other earthquakes, but nothing like that one. I think it was an 8.2 or 8.3, which is...
I have a fact sheet somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
You can tell me.
Yeah. How did the earthquake affect everything? Like after after it happened, like were roads out of business, schools closed? Did it like stop things from happening?
Yeah, there were. Well, obviously the bridge was closed because nobody could get over it, and there were lots of stores closed, and of course the area that was close to our house that was really hit hard by the earthquake was, buildings tumbled down, fires. It was horrible. And when we walked down, we could see a big crack in the earth, along it was on the shoreline, and you could see that big crack.
Jeez.
But
how wide was it? How big was it?
It was a couple of feet wide.
Wow.
We were really lucky because where we lived, our homes were built on rock. So we really did not have the effect that a lot of people did. But we had power outages and all of that kind of stuff, that affected us. But nothing fell off the walls, nothing broke in our home. But I knew people that had terrible destruction in their own homes.
Yeah. What was that like?
What was what?
I don't know, like
the
destruction.
The destruction.
Yeah.
Well, they had things fall off the walls. They had furniture topple over. They had that's people that I knew. Now, of course, the people that were in the area that was close to us, that was hit hard, their buildings fell. They couldn't live there anymore. So, and the street that fronted the water was mostly apartments, and then the next block was apartments, and the third block was businesses, and they were all built on landfill. So landfill doesn't hold together very well. So that's the reason they had a lot more damage. But you could go down the street, and on one side, the houses looked like they weren't hurt at all, and on the other side, they would have crumbled. Not in the marina, but just in San Francisco itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, did this experience change your perspective or make you think differently about things after that happened?
Well, I didn't want to stay in San Francisco forever. And I love San Francisco. It's a beautiful city, and it's a wonderful place to live. And I did not that was at the beginning of our tour. We lived there for 3 years, so we lived there for 2.5 other years. But I lived in fear, that we would have another earthquake.
Did that happen often in San Francisco?
Not big ones, but yeah, small ones happened often.
But did another one happen while you were there?
No. You mean another small one? Yeah, we had about three or four small ones after the big one. So, and there may have been small ones before, but sometimes with small ones you don't notice it,
Yeah. Um, is there anything we didn't talk about today that you would like to touch upon?
I don't know. I don't think they have not had a major earthquake in San Francisco since that one. As I said, it was a wonderful place to live, and I would go and visit anytime, but I would not want to move there.
Mm.